Hi guys, I welcome you all to the next lecture in our anthropology series. Yesterday we had already started the eighth topic, that is research methods in anthropology, and we have already discussed about the fieldwork tradition in anthropology, and it is one of the important topics in this chapter. So if you have not watched that, please go back, watch that video and come back to this video. So today our topic is going to be difference between method, methodology and technique. So this is the topic, but before understanding what is method, what is methodology and what is a technique, you need to know that these are all research, part of a research, right? So research का part होता है. So if I have to tell you what a research or a scientific research is, so I'll just tell you, I've just taken these three examples from different perspectives. One example is of Sir Isaac Newton. When the apple fell on his head, he thought that why does this apple not float into the space and why does it fall on the ground, right? So he was curious about the concept of gravity. Similarly, Charles Darwin was very curious about human evolution, and E.B. Taylor about psychic unity. He always believed that why in different places, because humans are so different, but even then the culture and social institutions develop in a similar way. So these are different kind of a question that a man has in its mind. So this idea of what, why, when, see this these questions, you can say these questions come in our mind as humans because we are all curious, right? We are curious, we question things, we have a scientific temperament, we do not accept the things the way they are, but we are curious to know. So this inquiry that we have in our mind, when we try to find answers to it in a scientific way, becomes a scientific research. So what happens is scientific inquiry helps to develop new concepts, right? Because we are inquisitive, ठीक we have questions in our minds, ठीक those questions we try and answer by doing certain field works, by doing certain observations, by doing certain research, right? Because all these words that I'm using, observation, surveys, anything is a part of research. So we can say the inquisitiveness in the human being leads it to do research, and based on this research we come up with new concepts that ultimately leads to new laws, theories, etc., right? So research ka idea, the idea of research comes because man has a innate curiosity to know about new things. Okay, this curiosity leads man to do research, that means to understand more about things, and research in turn gives us new laws, new theories, or refute the old laws, old theories, right? So इस तरह से we always try and learn something, and this is called as doing a scientific research. So now scientific research, ठीक है, we have said now scientific research, but not only one subject as anthropology does a research, right? Research हर subject का part है, right? But every subject, the way they are going to conduct their research, or the way they are going to have their research methodology is very different. So I have given you here three subjects. One is sociology, one is psychology, and one is anthropology. But why sociology and psychology? Because they are two subjects that are, you can say, in a way connected to anthropology. So I'll just tell you how sociology and psychology also conducts their research, and we'll try and compare it with anthropology. So in every subject tries to do its research work. In sociology, because we are studying mostly the urban societies, or you can say the complex modern societies, right? So in that case, when we are studying the modern societies, or so called the literate societies, because modern से हमारा मतलब है literate societies, so there the research is going to be conducted with the help of surveys, structured interviews, questionnaires, because they are literate, they can उनके साथ सर्वे करना, इंटरव्यू करना, क्वेश्चनर करना ईजी है, बिकॉज they know how to read and write, and they can make use of these methods. That means questionnaire, if I give you a questionnaire to solve, you need to read the questions and answer it, right? So literate society में it is possible. But is it possible in an anthropological setting? Can you go to a tribal and give them a questionnaire in English and tell them to answer? Maybe not, right? So that is why research in every discipline would differ. The parameters or the principles on which a research is based is same. All the places it is going to be same. Research करने के लिए what are the principles? आपको कुछ you have to be not biased. You have to take consent before studying somebody. You have to take their prior consent that this is how I'm going to research, and मैं आपका ये information I'm going to take and I'm going to use this information. So there are certain research के you can say principles that are going to be universal, but the methods, the techniques that you're going to use in conducting that research are not going to be universal, and that is precisely we are talking about. That means in a sociological setting, you might use these techniques like surveys, interviews, questionnaires, which is not so apt or appropriate in an anthropological setting. Similarly, psychologists में क्या होता है? They experiment with their clients, so they conduct clinical researches. ठीक है? So उनका research करने का तरीका clinical research होता है. So when we talk about anthropology, we know as till now we know now that anthropology जो है it's a field study or it's a field science, right? So when we are taking or we are studying these small scale societies, we have to devise different methods and techniques to undertake a holistic research, because यहाँ पे surveys, questionnaires इतने ज़्यादा शायद correct ना रहे in taking out a study, right? So उनके लिए हम anthropology में we use both objective, that means scientific research भी use करते हैं, and then subjective interpretation methods भी use करते हैं. That means anthropology जो research करती है, that is a very holistic kind of a research, because हम qualitative, quantitative, ठीक है, objective, subjective, हर type का methodology research में use करते हैं. Now, अब we are using these three terms quite often, that is the method, methodology and technique. In our common parlance, I would say we use all these three terms interchangeably, but that is not so. In case of method and technique, many times you can use the terms interchangeably, but method, methodology you cannot, and similarly so for methodology and technique. So before we go to the slides and understand it in deeper aspect, I'll just give you a overview. Okay? For example, if I tell you that I am going to do a study, okay, let me not give you any hypothetical example, let me give you an example from our anthropological theories only. Okay, so when we were talking about the school of diffusionism, right, you must be remembering that diffusion में हमने American school पढ़ा था. American school में Clark Weisler ने even though उससे पहले ही culture crisis, that means culture circle का idea आ गया था, but culture circle develop करने में it was American school and basically Clark Weisler who first conclusively drew a culture circle. So what was a culture circle? We can say to explain their theory of diffusionism. ठीक है, theory क्या थी? What was the theory? The theory was diffusion, to explain the path of diffusion and how diffusion takes place. That was the research. Research किस चीज़ पे हो रही है? कि there is diffusion that takes place, right? And to show the path of diffusion, that was the research part, right? What methodology they took? The methodology that they took was drawing culture circles. ठीक है, उन्होंने कल्चर सर्कल ड्रॉ करने का मेथडोलॉजी यूज किया. व्हाट मेथड दे यूज्ड? देयर मेथड वाज दे यूज्ड फूड टू ड्रॉ अ कल्चर सर्कल. सो आई होप कुछ आइडिया यहाँ से क्लैरिटी आ रहा होगा. So research is a very broad topic. That means there is a certain topic or a hypothesis or a theory in your mind that you try to उस पे आप you're trying to either deduce or induce from that hypothesis or any theory or law. ठीक है. Methodology would be a philosophy, the overall philosophy of your research, that how are you going to proceed with that research. And method is certain thing which is specific, right? So it is the way you are going to collect data, organize your data or present your data. So I think थोड़ा बहुत समझ आ गया. And then technique जो होता है ना, technique method के भी नीचे आप लगा सकते हो. Technique is even more specific item. ठीक है, जैसे अगर हम बोले कि if I say that case study is a method that I'm going to use for finding, for case study method में use करूँगी अपनी research methodology में. उसके अंदर case study मुझे कैसे करनी है, how I want to proceed with the case study. For example, I want to use participant observation or I want to use a survey method, right? So these are specific techniques that we are talking about. Now as I've told you, method and technique are the words that are used interchangeably, and ये method भी हो सकता है. Even participant observation can be a method, right? So it's not like कि technique is a very specific thing. It's a very specific thing. So you can call it technique as well, but method is slightly a broader term than technique. So now let's try and understand each thing in detail. So method and methodology. Method is a way of conducting a research, okay, how you are going to proceed with the research. But methodology is the science and philosophy behind the research. That means आप whatever your topic of research is, there is a research topic कि maybe it could be nutrition, it could be poverty alleviation, it could be any other research program. ठीक है, you can have a research topic. How you are going to proceed with that, what philosophy you are going to follow is going to be a methodology. For example, deductive techniques or inductive techniques. ठीक है, उसमें आपको क्या follow करना है. ठीक है, which kind of आपको डायरेक्ट सोर्स से अपना डेटा लेना है या सेकेंडरी सोर्सेज से लेना है, राइट? देन विच मेथड, क्वेश्चन यूज करना है, सर्वे मेथड यूज करना है, क्या यूज करना है. दिस ऑल विल कम अंडर वन अम्ब्रेला एंड दैट इज मेथडोलॉजी. सो आई होप यू नाउ अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट अ मेथडोलॉजी इज. ठीक है, सो मेथडोलॉजी इज द रैशनल फॉर रिसर्च अप्रोच. what approach you're going to take for the research. It's a lens, ठीक है, it's a general strategy that outlines the way your research is going to be undertaken. So सबसे broad umbrella term, इसके अंदर सब कुछ आएगा. Everything will be encompassed in this one thing. How you're going to approach, what observations you're going to make, ठीक है, what methodologies what method you're going to use, ठीक है, what conclusions you have to draw, what analysis you are going to make. Everything comes under the methodology. So it impacts your research endeavors, because अगर in any which ways अगर आपकी methodology में, if your methodology is not set or proper, your research is never going to come out scientific. This is method. So examples अगर आपको लेने हैं for methodology, you can say there are different techniques of doing methodology, that is phenomenology. Phenomenology is a study of the live experiences. Now what does this mean? This means that, for example, if I want to study a poverty alleviation program, I want to see about poverty I want to study. So what I do is I go to a slum area and start asking people who live in these slums, just to have a live experience of what they have felt or what they go through in their daily basis. So phenomenology क्या होता है? Phenomenology एक word से बना है. The word is phenomenon, phenomena. ठीक है? So phenomena is something event. आप event बोलो, कुछ भी बोलो, experience बोलो. So whenever you try and study from somebody's life experience, that would be a phenomenology. For example, if I want to study cancer, and I take the sample, or I do that with the help of cancer patients. That means मैंने क्या किया, मैंने उनके लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस से I learned from their phenomena, I learned from their life experience. ठीक है? So that is one methodology that you can follow. Then there is ethnography. Ethnography, scientifically we try and understand the people, their beliefs, their behaviors. ठीक है? Go and live with them and all of that. Participatory में you take the participants as active researchers. इसमें PRA का concept आ जाएगा, PLA का concept आ जाएगा. This I've already covered in the weekly answer writing, so please go there and watch it. Then grounding theories. Now grounding theories क्या होती है? You assume that you are a blank slate, researcher is a blank slate, and now he goes and learns from the people. ठीक है? From the grassroots or the ground reality. So इसीलिए that is why it is called a grounding theory, because you go to the field and you learn from them, learn from their experiences, their beliefs. You go as a blank slate. So इसमें क्या होता है? You are doing induction. Induction means that you have no set idea. ठीक है? You are learning from their experiences, their beliefs, their ideas, and then inducing upon a theory. ठीक है? So these are certain, you can say, umbrella methodologies that you use in a research. You can either go through a participatory kind of methodology, or a phenomenology, or an ethnographic approach you can take, right? Or a grounding theory you can take. Grounding theory में भी PRA वगैरह you can include, because in that also you try and learn from their experience, the people who are going through that thing. ठीक है? So this was methodology. Then method, I've told you, it's a tool that it will, in short, how to go about and collect the data. इसमें interviews, surveys, questionnaires, participant observation, historical method. हिस्टोरिकल मेथड क्या है? हिस्ट्री बुक से या पास्ट से यू आर ट्राइंग टू लर्न फ्रॉम दैट. सो दिस ऑल जो है, दिस इज मतलब व्हाट इज एन इंटरव्यू, सर्वे, क्वेश्चन है, हिस्टोरिकल मेथड. दिस इज आर tomorrow's topic. So there I'll tell you deeply about what is the difference between interview and survey, then all of that. ठीक है? But these are methods. Now you have set your objective, you have your research topic, you have thought now, okay, I'm going to participate. That means my participation observation say I'm going to do my methodology. ठीक है? Methodology क्या है? You are going to live with the people, learn their language, make them comfortable. You are going to observe them, and along with that you are also going to use a method of maybe questioning them. Oral questions पूछ के you are going to collect certain data. So this will come in your method. ठीक है? Observation, participation तो चल ही रहा है. Along with that you are using questionnaires. ठीक है? You are taking their life histories or life story. ठीक है? You are trying to take certain other data from a secondary source. That means आप कुछ books पढ़ रहे हो, उससे भी आप you are trying to add certain things to your research paper. So this becomes the part of a method. And technique would be, so I've just given you a difference of method and methodology also. Methodology is something which determines the appropriateness of the method. That means method जो है सब part है methodology का. Methodology का सब part is method. Objective of method is to find a solution to the research problem. ठीक है? There is a research problem. How to go about it or how to find a solution would be a method. ठीक है. Methodology is analysis of all methods, because obviously it's umbrella term. Method is a tool, it's just a tool, or it is used to select a research technique. That means method अगर हमको बोलना हो, there'll be method, methodology. Many methods will make a methodology and many techniques will make a method. So you can see like this. ठीक है, techniques उसके ऊपर method and then methodology. Now methods जो होते हैं ये they are applied in the later stage of course, because पहले research topic choose होता है, then methodology decide होती है and then method की बात आती है, right? So applied during the initial stage and it comprises of different investigation techniques. Obviously इसमें techniques आते हैं, इसमें आपके methodology में there is a strategy to find solution. So methodology एक wider term है, method उससे एक specific term है, technology और technique बहुत ज़्यादा specific term है. And now if we have to talk about technique, method जो है is a broader term than technique. Technique is very specific. ठीक है, method could make use of more than one technique. We have discussed this. हमने बनाया ऐसे कि बहुत सारी techniques can make one method. For example, if I say that case study is a method that I am going to use for studying any group, ठीक है, उसमें I can have more than one technique. Like I might be observing that group. Based on that observation, I will make certain conclusions, or I might interview them also. ठीक है, एक तो for their social norms I might interview them. That means what they believe, उनका society का ethos क्या है, what is the culture, उसके लिए मैं social norms को understand करने के लिए I'm interviewing them. That means I'm explicitly asking them. But what the statistical norm is, that means what they actually do को समझने के लिए I am observing them also. That means if I have to tell you what I'm saying is, method is a broader technique, you can say. Method को आप एक broader technique कह सकते हो, because आपका research topic set है, methodology भी set है कि I am going to go and participatory observation I am going to do. ठीक है, for that you are thinking okay, maybe case study is a good method. That means I'll draw a case study of, for example, Samoan Samoan girls की मेरे को case study लेनी है. That is my method of showing what my research topic is. My research topic is, चलो let's take this Margaret Mead का example, everything will be clear. Margaret Mead थी, what she did, she studied, her research topic was adolescent stress, the stress that develops in the adolescent females, right? And this is not because of biological but cultural practices. This is what she said. This was her research topic, adolescent stress. Her methodology was she studied a group of Samoan girls versus American culture. So she studied American culture and Samoan group. That was the methodology that she used. She went there, she took the case studies. Methodology में क्या था? She would do a comparison between two different groups. So उसने comparative methodology use करा of Samoan girls and American girls. ठीक है, and method क्या use किया? She took a case study of both of them. What she said is Samoa में, because the culture is such that there is no taboo on premarital sex. The boys and girls can be together, they can enjoy together. So that is why there is no adolescent stress. So what was the method she used? It was the case study method. और उसमें techniques क्या हो सकती हैं? उसमें techniques कुछ भी हो सकती हैं. She might have interviewed the girls and the society. She might have observed very many things, right? So this जो method है उसके अंदर there can be sub techniques or sub methods, right? So this is what techniques are about. And of course observation say you cannot understand everything. So obviously एक method में you are going to use a collection of techniques where you are implicitly observing things, explicitly questioning them. So it is going to be a mixture of many techniques. Method, ठीक है, method is going to be a mixture of many techniques. So I hope this topic is clear to you. What I was telling is about the method में कि why would you question and why would you observe is because then there are different set of things that you are trying to take from a case study, that is what people do and how what people say. That means अगर एक society में बोलते हैं that you know premarital sex is not allowed, but then there are live-in relationships, ठीक है, then there are females who are getting married, females who are getting pregnant without getting married. So that means their social norm is that there should not be premarital sex, but then there is premarital sex and that is the statistical norm. So for looking at actual behavior and behavior what people ought to do, उसके लिए आपको different techniques use करनी पड़ेंगी. That means what people believe, उसके लिए you might interview them, what people actually do, उसके लिए you might observe them. So that is what it is. That case study is a method. In that you can use observation, interviewing techniques, questionnaire techniques and all of that. So I hope the difference between method, methodology and technique is clear to you. Tomorrow we'll do that in detail, ki what are the different kind of methods used in the research. So I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.